It's known as the Fashion Bible, but inside the glossy cover there's much more than the latest trends, luxury brands and perfectly poised models. Since the British edition first hit newsstands in 1916, Vogue has provided what the magazine's editor calls a cultural record of our time, that's now been captured in a timeline at London's National Portrait Gallery.
We start now in 2016 and we take you on this sort of journey back in a time tunnel, right back to 1916. Vogue 100 was a great opportunity for us to replay Vogue's greatest hits. So I wanted to have all these sort of slightly well-known images and balance it with ones that perhaps people had not seen before.
One example is from the 1940s.
In 1942, during the Second World War, Vogue decided to, on an economy drive, to pulp its entire archive of paper, and that includes its photographs. So the reason this show took about 6 years is we had to really start again from scratch.
Today, the story may have changed, but the way it is told hasn't, largely through the images of photographers such as Jason Bell.
In a sense, I'm not really a fashion photographer, I'm a portrait photographer. And obviously, fashion is in my work, but I think for me, the primary interest has always been the person. And, you know, it's nice to see a magazine like Vogue saying, you know, we won't only use people who only shoot fashion, you know, we'll use portrait photographers as well, which, you know, they have done over the last 100 years.
It is the magazine's readers who have helped determine what they see when they turn the page. It doesn't matter if they have the luxury lifestyle portrayed in the magazine. Vogue is about dipping into everyday culture through not so everyday fashion.
We quickly realised that Vogue it's really about people. It's, you know, people make photographs. I mean, it sounds like an obvious thing to say, but what I've realised that Vogue is not just about clothes, basically. It is really about people.
But the question is, what kind of people? Critics have said that the magazine isn't diverse enough and narrowly represents British style. But there's no doubting its pulling power. People still want to be in it.
One of the lovely things about working for Vogue, and specifically with the women from Downton Abbey, was their excitement at being in Vogue, and it was very early on in the programme, and you know, I think it was almost one of the first shoots they'd done, and I remember one of the actresses saying to me, you know, I'm so excited about, you know, being in Vogue, I'm almost peeing, you know, it was just sort of, that is a really lovely thing.
And its reach is global, with a powerful brand that has 21 editions around the world, which have influenced some of the biggest names in the fashion industry.
I'm a Vogue person, totally. I mean, I grew up with Vogue since I was like a child of 4. I started to see magazines, my mother magazines. At the time, in those islands that I was born, on the coast of Africa, the Canary Islands, was difficult after the war. And the things come from Argentina, all the magazines, so we have to wait months and months. Oh, the Vogue arrived.
It was a big deal in that you work your whole life and fantasize about being in Vogue, you know, and I think to see your work in there, it was like, not that you need that stamp of approval, but it felt really good. It was like an accomplishment.
But with the rise of the digital age, Vogue has seen a decline in its readership. Since 2014, the magazine has lost nearly 200,000 readers. So will it still be here in another 100 years?
Without question. I mean, it may be in a different format. I mean, who knows what will happen to print journalism as a whole, but I don't think the digital version of a magazine would ever replace the actual feeling of having something to put on your coffee table.
The power will centralize on a few of these publications that are really best of breed, that are elite, that have the great editorials, the great editors, the great photo shoots, and so I think those brands become more powerful, more important, you know, with exclusive content, with exclusive photo shoots and sets and so forth. Then I think you'll see this proliferation of many bloggers, many influencers, but I think you'll see a kind of a two-party system like that.
So whilst Vogue may be grappling with declining readership and alternative revenue streams, it's hard to deny the magazine's power. It seems that one way or another, Vogue will remain in fashion. Kirsty Nicol, TRT World in London.